Hello, my dear apprentices. In this video, Mr. Magna will take you through a journey of how to multiply a decimal factor by a single digit whole number. That is what we're going to do. So a decimal factor, which is this one right here, by a single digit whole number. Now they are asking us to draw disk. We're not going to draw disk. We're going to use the place value chart with numbers. Then we have to write an equation. Okay, and express the product in a standard form. So remember that the product is the answer of a multiplication, and the factors are the numbers in a multiplication. So first of all, we're going to use the place value chart to solve it. Then we're going to write an equation, and then we're going to express the product in standard form. All right, let's get to it. Let's read what this statement is telling us. 2 copies of 4/10. So what that's saying is, for example, that let me see, what is the decimal? Is 4/10. So 4/10, you will be writing it exact. Oh, let me get my. No, that would be 4/10 right here. Now the statement says 2 copies, so that will be only 1 copy. Here's the second copy. So when you have 2 copies, then guess what? That is an addition. So multiplication is a fast way to add. So 4 plus 4 equals 8. So the total should be 8/10. Okay, if we follow the rules. So now let's write this as an equation. What that is saying is that you have 2 copies, and we're going to, instead of writing the word copy, we're going to use the multiplication symbol, because copies represents a multiplication symbol. And then we're going to write 0.4 because that's the second factor. So the second factor is 0.4. So now 4 times 3 equals 8, and the answer is 8. Just like in this area, but remember, look at where the decimal is. Okay, so what you do here is you're gonna there has to be a decimal. See this decimal at the end, and in the product you need to have the same thing. There has to be one decimal, um, one digit to the right of the decimal. So what we need to do right here is place, since the decimal is on the right hand side of the number 8, we're going to now move it to the left, because that needs to be done based on our multiplication and based on our using of the place value chart to solve the problem. Okay, let's do the next one. I'll delete the annotations here. Now, so now we got the answer. Let's see if we actually have everything. So by drawing disk, well, we did not draw disk, but we wrote the numbers on the place value chart. Write an equation. We wrote an equation. Here is the equation. 4 times 2, 2 times 4/10 equals 8/10. And then let's see, did we express the product in a standard form? And yes, we did. The product is right here. It's in a standard form. All right. Let's do the next operation. So this one, B1B, states that you have 4 groups of 500s. All right, so let's go and write one group of 500s. So that's 500, right? That means there are 0/10. Now it says that you have 4 groups, so you got to make 4 groups here. So that's going to be one group. This is going to be 2 groups. The third one is below, and the final one is here. Now remember, again, multiplication is addition in a very a speedy way. So this, if you look at it, 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 20. You carry 2 over to the 10th, and 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, it will equal 20. So now five copies. Let me show you the copies just so you understand the terminology. This is copy 1, copy 2 of the same number, copy 3, and copy 4. So 4 copies of 500s equals 20 hundreds. And now we're going to write the multiplication on this page. Let's do this. So 4 times 500. So remember, 500 is written as 0.010 and 500. And the total is going to be, remember, we on the place value chart, the answer is 0.20 hundredths. And again, let me make emphasis on this thing. If one of these numbers has two digits to the right of the decimal number, the product must have two digits to the right of the decimal number, so that our answer is correct. Okay, so this is how you solve this problem using the place value chart. Okay, let's delete this and let's move on to the next one. I think these are pretty much the same way you do this. Now, let me explain to you this next model. This is draw a model similar to the picture below. So that's what they want us to do. And this is called the tape diagram. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it. So the model is already given to us here. Okay. And then it tells us to find the sum of the partial products to evaluate each number. So the sum of this is a partial product, partial product, partial product. Okay, so once those two factors are multiplied, the partial product is going to be written on the line below. Okay, and I'm gonna make you're probably thinking, where did the 4 times 6 ones came from? Well, that came from 4 times 6 ones. Okay, and the second column, it's 4, which is the same number here. That's the same factor, 4 times 7/10. And the last one will be again 4, because we have a 4 here, which is one of the factors, times 900. Okay, you see that is easy to see. Now let's do the actual, get the what do they call it, the partial product. 4 times 6 equals 24. Okay, so we're going to write 24. And we don't need decimals on this one because those are ones. So then remember, when you have ones, the decimal goes on the right-hand side. Now, what is 4 times 7/10? Now, if I'm not sure, I'm going to say that I have 4 copies of 7/10. So I will go right here and I will say, okay, this will be, let me grab my pencil. This will be 7/10. And how many copies did we read? Let me check. 4 copies of 7, which is 4 times 7. Those of you who are very good with your multiplication tables, you know that 4 times 7 equals 28, right? And that's what happens here. 7 plus 7 equals 14. This is 14 plus 14. That will be 28. So we will write the 8 below and we'll carry the 2 over to the zeros. So all the zeros plus 2 equals 2. And this will be the answer. So this is how you would write the answer for this one. Let me make sure yes, 2 and 8/10. That will be the answer. 2 and 8/10. Now remember that it's crucial to know where the decimal point is, because we need to add these partial products. Now 4 times 900. All right, so we now do 4 copies of 900. Let me get that done. So 4 copies of 900. So where are the hundreds? Right here. How do I know? Well, here is the word, the unit, and here is the fraction that says hundredths. Okay, and how many copies? I need 4 copies. So it's going to be, okay, now remember that you have 0, tenths, and then we have a decimal point there. So we're going to write both the 4 copies by writing it like 0 with the 0/10 and 0/9. Once you are complete, have set up your place value chart, helpful hints, then what you do is this: 9 plus 9 equals 18. Obviously, again, 9 plus 9 equals 18. When you add 8 plus 8 equals 16, you carry 1 over, then 1 plus 1 equals 2 plus the 1 up here equals 3. And if you're good students of mathematics, you will know that 9 times 4, which are the two factors that we have here. 9 times 4 equals 36. Okay? And the decimal point will be next to it. All right, so let's go back to our document. So the answer for this, the product will be 36 hundredths. So we will write 36 hundredths, decimal first. Ugh, that's not working well. Let me see if I can do this better. Okay, so 36 hundredths. Now it says that we have to add them up. Well, that's going to be simple because if you align them correctly, you know that the whole number, which is the 24, has a decimal here. And I would recommend that you add 2 zeros at least to help you set up the other ones. The next number is 2.8. So that would be 2 decimal point. Notice that decimal points are aligned. 8. And the third one will be 3600. Well, what the heck? 30. Let me undo this. Okay. So that will be 36 hundredths. So it will be decimal point 3, 6. As recommended by the instructions, we need to put all these partial products together. 6 plus 0 equals 6. 8 plus 3 equals 11. Decimal point, we carry 1 over. So 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 plus 2 equals 7. And the 2 goes right here. Okay. So now the answer for this is 27. Now this is a tape diagram that is assisting you to multiply 4 copies of this big number, 679, or 6 and 79 hundredths. Okay, my friends, we're gonna practice this in class. Make sure you watch the video again to know where the answers came from, and so you know what it needs to be done when you're practicing independently. Your coach, Mr. Mangley, signing out. Yes.